Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning as we talk about the annual Troy Turkey Trot kickoff press conference and countdown to Thanksgiving morning. My name is John Salka. I'm the Communications Director for the City of Troy, and I'm excited to welcome our guests, special guests, to this virtual press event this morning. Obviously, it looks a little different this year than previous years. Our press conference as well as the race itself. During a normal year, over 8,000 runners and supporters would gather in downtown Troy on Thanksgiving morning to participate in the Troy Turkey Trot here in Troy, New York. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, city and race officials modified the 2020 edition from an in-person to virtual event using the latest mobile app technology, which also continues to help raise valuable funds through donations from runners to support local charities that help feed hungry families and provide warm shelter to homeless men, women, and children. It's going to be a truly unique and exciting event this Thanksgiving that continues to celebrate the spirit of the Troy Turkey Trot, fun, family, and fitness. Registration is open now at www.troyturkeytrot.com. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Troy Mayor Patrick Madden just to give a few remarks. Mayor.
Thank you, John. And just to clarify, that's Troy, New York. So welcome, everybody. It seems like it's been a year since I've seen your faces, and I think that's actually true. I would like at this point to acknowledge Mayor Ethan Baker from Troy, Michigan. He's joined us this morning. He'll be speaking later on in the program. Welcome, Mayor Baker. 2020 has been an undeniably tough year for us in so many ways. One aspect in particular was the loss of so many of our cherished traditions and customs that bring us together, shoulder to shoulder, to enjoy sports or music or food or all sorts of entertainment. But we are adapting, and I'm delighted that we were able to find a way to continue our long-standing tradition of the Troy Turkey Trot. The virtual format won't give us an identical experience to last year, but in some ways it does present us with some new and exciting options that our event director, George Regan, will speak to shortly. We also plan on Thanksgiving morning to bring folks together via a 45-minute live Facebook Live broadcast that will be simulcast on the Troy Turkey Trot page and the City of Troy Facebook page. And it will feature live reports from the virtual leaderboard and interviews with our event charities and longtime participants. Participants are again invited to help us feed hungry families and provide warm shelter to the homeless by making a donation online during the registration process to the Trot's two charities, the Regional Food Bank of Northeastern New York and Joseph's House and Shelter. As you can well imagine, both charities have seen a big increase in demand for their services this past year. So for further information on that, I'd urge you to visit troyturkeytrot.com. With our event going virtual in 2020, we also felt there was no better opportunity to connect with other Troy communities, to invite them to join our virtual event. Leaders of 14 Troy cities and towns across America were extended a personal invitation, encouraging them to join our community in this signature event. So far, we have commitments from officials in Troy, Kansas, Troy, Michigan, and Troy, Illinois, who will be joining the run. And I suppose that puts a little pressure on me as well. Earlier this year, we in Troy, New York, forged a connection with Troy, Kansas, after a resident there made a heartfelt donation of a N95 face mask in New York in the early days of the pandemic, when New York was struggling with the rates of infection and hospitalization, and those masks were so scarce. 2 nights ago, I had the privilege of speaking with the city council at their meeting in Troy, Kansas via Zoom, and I extended them a direct invitation to participate in the race, and some of them are already signed up from what I understand. And we hope to continue strengthening our connection with Troy, Kansas, Troy, Michigan, Troy, Illinois, as well as other cities and towns that share our name in the weeks and months ahead. So with that, I'm going to turn back over to John. Thank you very much for attending today.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Appreciate it. Next up, we have George Regan. He is the event director for the Troy Turkey Trot. George has served as event director since 2012. Fun fact, I just found out earlier this week, George first ran the Turkey Trot, the Troy Turkey Trot here in Troy, New York, way back in 1981, and has been working on the trot in some capacity since 1985. So George brings a tremendous amount of lived experience to the race, and we're thrilled to have him here this morning. So I'll turn it over to George.
Hi, thank you, John, and Mayor Madden, for all your support on this event. I don't think of 1981 as being way back, John. To me, it seems like yesterday. But yes, I do have my personal best for 10,000 meters at the Troy Turkey Trot in 1981. I ran a 34:30. So this is about family. This is about tradition for me, and one of the reasons I'm so committed to this. And clearly to support these two great charities we have, hunger and homelessness. I mean, you wouldn't think that would ever be a problem in a community of our, in our age and time, but in fact it is. So sorry I got off script a little bit, John. I'll get right back on here. I was asked by you to talk a little bit about the history. This event started in 1916 as a way to welcome back and to reintroduce into the community World War I veterans. It has run between 1916 and 1963, 16 times. So it was hit or miss in those years. From 1964 to today, it's run pretty much continuously. If it had run continuously, it would be 57 times, but this will be our 56th edition since 1964, which we call the Bill Carley years. Bill Carley was a great man that supported this event and brought it back to a continuous running. In 1971, we had an 18-inch snowstorm that blanketed the area the night before, so the event couldn't run. But this next week's event will put us at our 104th anniversary and our 73rd running. As the mayor of Troy, New York mentioned, the COVID pandemic made us rethink how we would continue keeping the tradition alive of this great event. The family, the fitness, the fun, the community of this event. And so our discussions came to, and our research came to the fact that we could do safely, we could do a event that would keep those traditions alive, and led us to agree upon hosting a virtual trot for 2020. The virtual event research that we did over the summer and early fall showed us that these events were producing about 20 to 60% of entrants that ran in their traditional events when they were having them. So we kind of based our goals and anticipations of what we could do with a virtual event this year on that research. And I'm happy to announce, with 9 days to go, we just surpassed 2,000 entries. So that puts us at about 33%. Now, what's even more important and gratifying for me is that we are at 90% of contributions from our participants to our charities, the Regional Food Bank of Northeastern New York and Joseph's House and Shelter. And so what it shows me is that that spirit of giving is alive in our country. And I certainly appreciate that. And it's very encouraging. Um, Trying to do the best we could with this event, this historic event we have here. We went out and purchased a virtual app. This app was developed by the New York Roadrunners Club, and it was designed for the New York City Marathon. It's powered by a technology company called RTRT, which stands for Real-Time Racing Technology. And it uses GPS at its core to do a lot of the functions that allows us to see ourselves as we run on the course that we've chosen to run on. And it puts us on the Troy Turkey Trot course with all of those other people that are running. Mayor Madden mentioned the fact that we would be having a simulcast that we were doing in the morning, starting at 9:45 a.m. That's the morning of Thanksgiving Day. And that is so we can have a show that would talk about everybody being together as the GPS puts us and as the app puts us on the Troy course, and talk about what is happening. Now, this technology in this app allows us to have results and to do awards, just as if we were holding the event in person. And so consequently, we will be having the famous 5K Family Team Awards. Last year, we had 104 family teams running. And then our corporate teams will be scoring and giving awards to the top 3. And we'll do our overall individuals and our masters, that are those over 40 years of age. We'll be giving those awards away. So Sunday, that is the window. The window we have is from Thanksgiving morning, November 26th, through Saturday night, November 28th, at 11 p.m. So you can choose to run in that window. We would ask people, if they can, if it's going to be a nice weather day on Thanksgiving morning, to do the traditional start at 10 o'clock. That will give us give us the feel of everybody running together. But there is that opportunity to run outside that window if circumstances present themselves where you can't be there. And you will be running with a GPS device, preferably your phone, and we will be able to include you in the awards and in the results, which will unofficially come out on Sunday. Those will be unofficial results, and then a week later we will have the official results. If you can't run with a GPS device, that's fine also. We will put you in the results, but you would not be eligible for awards, because there'd be no way for us to actually confirm the time you ran. So continuing the tradition of our event is we are still going to be holding a costume contest, which has been near and dear to all of us, and it's produced a lot of fun and just all kinds of community connectiveness. And on top of the costume contest, we'll have prizes for the top 3. On top of the costume contest, we'll also be adding a finish line contest this year. So those individuals who set up a finish line, they can take a selfie of that, a finish line at their home or wherever they're finishing the event. They can take a photo of that, and it will be voted on by all of the participants that are registrants of the event. People can pick up, if they registered by November 1st, they can pick up their swag on Sunday and Wednesday, and they can do this as a drive-through at the Italian Community Center, 1450 Fifth Avenue. All other swag, and then we'll do this a second time in December, early December. We'll do another pickup for those who have registered after November 1st. And then all the other swag will be mailed, all of the out of town, non-local individuals will get theirs mailed. So, so that being said, I think I've covered everything. I would say that right now last year we raised $15,000 through our participant donations, and with the support of our presenting sponsor, Pioneer Bank, and their bank foundation, they matched that by $2,500. And we have, with 9 days to go, 93% of that in the bank already. So Kevin and Mark, we did it. I know we were nervous about it, as we should have been, because this is all new to all of us. But congratulations to us, our community, and the city of Troy, New York, for continuing to support this event and just, being with me all the way on this thing. Kudos to you all. Thank you, John.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it. Next up, we have Tom Amell. He's the president and CEO of Pioneer Bank. Pioneer Bank has been a longtime sponsor of the Troy Turkey Trot. This is actually the 24th year that Pioneer Bank has sponsored the Trot. And we appreciate the continued support of Tom and Pioneer Bank for our signature Thanksgiving Day event. So I'll turn it over to Tom now.
Great. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. And George, thank you for bringing the same level of enthusiasm you're bringing this year as you've brought for so many years to the Turkey Trot. And Mayor Madden, thank you for making it a priority for the city of Troy. This is a super important event for Pioneer Bank. It's our signature event. As most of you know, Troy is our birthplace. In 1889, we were formed, and Troy remains the cornerstone of our entire business model. So we're super proud. I am going to miss waking up in the morning, being freezing cold, dreading running 3.5 miles with 10,000 of my closest friends, but I'm going to give it a crack. So I've run the Turkey Trot for probably 15 straight years. And just for the media outlets out there, I'm going to go on record that this year would have been my personal record. So I definitely would have won this year. So you can just put that in ink. That would have happened. Seriously, we're super proud of it. We're glad to be part of it. We're glad that we have the ability in our foundation to help out, great organizations and great people. Kevin O'Connor is a dear friend of mine, and he does just unbelievable work every day. No matter how difficult it is, he gets up and makes it happen. So we're thrilled. And Mark, he's a legend in our community in terms of feeding people. So we're absolutely thrilled that we can donate money to both Joseph's House and the Regional Food Bank. And I promise you, we'll continue this long-standing relationship with both those organizations, and we'll remain the backbone of the Turkey Trot, no matter what forum we use. So Mayor Madden and George, thank you for all that you do. And on behalf of the Pioneer family, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, safe, and we all look forward to getting back to a normal environment.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. And we appreciate the many, many years, previous years that Pioneer Bank has supported the Turkey Trot, and hopefully many more in the future. Next up, we're going to have representatives of our two charities, which Tom just mentioned, Mark Quant and Kevin O'Connor. Obviously, the Troy Turkey Trot is more than a road race. We've heard already this morning. It also helps raise money and donations that support valuable local charities here in the Capital Region. Our next guest is going to be Kevin O'Connor. He is the executive director of Joseph's House and Shelter. Joseph's House and Shelter is a community-based non-for-profit that provides a wide array of homeless services to Capital Region residents. Founded in 1983, Joseph's House offers emergency shelter, street outreach, and support services to homeless and formerly homeless individuals, children, and families. Before I bring Kevin on, I just want to play a short video, so everybody hang tight.
Joseph's House mission is to provide non-judgmental services to end homelessness. We provide street outreach, emergency shelter, and permanent supported housing for men, women, and children. Last year, we served nearly 2,000 people. We served 830 people so far this year versus about 325 the year before. So it's a significant increase in the amount of people on the streets. And in the streets, they don't have access to restrooms that they normally have, or places to charge their phones, or places to wash their hands and sanitizers. So we've worked with partners in downtown to get portable toilets placed, portable sinks. Donations from participants of the Troy Turkey Trot will make a significant difference in what we do. We have increased cost related to supplies, COVID-related supplies. We have more staff to provide safety, and we've increased our hours in street outreach from an 8-hour day to a 12-hour day to respond to the increased need.
So at this time, I will ask Kevin O'Connor to
Well,
say.
thank you. Again, I'm Kevin O'Connor. I'm the Executive Director of Joseph's House and Shelter. Last year, we served 2,000 men, women, and children in all of our services, and we're very grateful for the race organizers, again, selecting us one of the two beneficiary charities to receive donations this year. It's been an interesting year, as you all can imagine from that short little video. We're at the intersection of a lot of things. We've got the pandemic going on. We have the continued issues with the opioid and fentanyl epidemics that are going on in the community. We've had an uptick in gun violence in some of the neighborhoods that we're very active in, and we're having timely discussions about race and racial justice. And so it's been an interesting year. I'm very proud of our staff who have shown up every day. We can't work remotely, so our staff is coming in every day to keep our shelters safe, both the shelters that are year-round as well as our seasonal shelters just opened up. We are serving twice as many people on the streets than we did a year prior. I think you heard the statistics. They've been updated. We've served over 900 unique individuals who are unsheltered this year, compared to a little over 500. So it's a little less than a twofold increase since the pandemic started. And we believe that the reason is a lot of people are avoiding shelters to avoid contamination. So we're trying to do the best we can to connect people into shelter, into housing. We've placed 62 people directly from the streets into housing this year. We're doing what we can, not only to keep our staff and our participants safe, but also the community safe, because if folks are out there who are not in protective settings, that are not following the best guidelines, it's putting the whole community in jeopardy. So we see our mission as not just serving those individuals, but serving the community at large. The money that's donated will go to extra staffing. We have a third shift of housekeeping and maintenance in all of our buildings to keep it safe. We've expanded our street outreach services from an 8-hour day to a 12-hour day, and we have additional COVID costs. So all of that money will go directly into keeping our community safe, housing people, sheltering people, doing the best we can to treat people non-judgmentally and treat people with dignity and respect. So thank you again for all the support.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. We have representatives from Joseph's House and Shelter, and then obviously the Regional Food Bank of Northeastern New York. Next guest is Mark Quant. He is the Executive Director of the Regional Food Bank of Northeastern New York. The Regional Food Bank has been helping feed the poor and hungry in our communities since 1982. Currently, the organization provides over 35 million pounds, actually probably closer to 40 million pounds of food a year to 1,000 agencies, helping to feed hungry and disadvantaged individuals in 23 counties from Plattsburgh to Newburgh in urban, rural, and suburban communities. Before I have Mark come up, I'm also just going to play another quick video.
The Regional Food Bank is a not-for-profit organization, and we work to alleviate hunger and at the same time prevent the waste of good food. So we do that by working with the food industry and collecting large donations of food that's still perfectly good to eat, but that they cannot sell, maybe overproduced, nearing code date, many different reasons. So we collect that, bring that back to our warehouse in Latham, and then provide that back out to food pantries, soup kitchens, homeless shelters, and many other agencies serving hungry people throughout Eastern New York. In mid-March, we knew things were going to be different, that the need was going to skyrocket, and we were going to be called upon to do a lot more. So we've increased, every aspect of our operation was impacted. Sure, the Troy Turkey Trot has been great to the food bank. We've been a recipient charity now for many years, and those donations are very, very helpful to us. Every donation we receive, every dollar we spend at the food bank, we can provide 4 meals worth of food for people in need. So every dollar a trotter donates to us, they're helping a family in need. They're putting 4 meals on the table for people who are struggling. And there are so many more people struggling right now. Those donations are going to be more important than they've ever been.
So, Mark, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Mayor, Tom, Kevin, George. It's an honor for the Regional Food Bank to be part of the Troy Turkey Trot now for going on 10 years and to be the recipient of thousands of dollars in funding. So there's not much left to say. The video covered a lot of what is really going on at the food bank and who we are. But it's been, as with everybody, it's just been a very unique, challenging year for us. So John, you had mentioned our distribution, which had been over 40 million pounds of food as of last year. We're up 40% this year. So we're going to be over 55 million pounds of food, which equates to about 46 million meals that we are providing through our member agencies, like Joseph's House is an example of one of the agencies we serve. So we're doing a lot this year. Just the need has gone up, has skyrocketed right after the pandemic hit and shut everything down. Schools were closed, businesses were closed. We knew that things were going to change quickly. And immediately we started getting calls from municipalities and counties and a lot of other groups in certain areas that recognize that a lot of people were out of work, a lot of people needed help, and we're going to need help with food assistance. So we started working with them to organize what are now, I think everybody recognizes as drive-through food pantries, where people show up at a site and drive through and volunteers load their vehicle with food. So we've done well over 100 drive-through food pantries since the pandemic started. Seniors were especially impacted. We've increased our distribution to senior sites, mostly low-income senior housing units, from 5 to 25. So we've been providing thousands of pounds of food to seniors through those programs. And then kids were impacted also tremendously. Kids who are now out of school typically get meals in school. I know schools continue to try to provide meals, but for a lot of those families, not only did they have the kids home and had to provide extra meals for them, but a lot of those people were also out of work and being impacted. So we found ways to work with 235 different schools throughout our service area to continue to provide assistance through our backpack program so that kids on weekends and now during the week also had extra food. And we went well over 1 million pounds of food to those sites throughout really the end of the school year and then rolled into the summer program. So in addition to that, our volunteer force got cut tremendously. A lot of people were concerned about going out and volunteering. So, and then in our own location, we could only take 10 at a time as opposed to 20 or 30 at a time. So we were fortunate enough to work with a local company to find offsite warehouse where we have been able to house our volunteers and continue that program very strongly because we need volunteers to sort and repack a lot of food. And then we've also had to go offsite to build an offsite cooler and then find some offsite freezer storage because so much of the food that we have been getting in has been fresh and frozen, and we needed some extra storage space to accommodate that. So pretty much every single way that we could possibly be impacted, we've been impacted. And as Kevin said, very proud of his staff. I'm very, very proud of our staff. They stepped up, took on the challenge, and our commitment was wherever there's a need, the answer is always going to be yes. And we've been able to respond with lots of food and lots of very good nutritious food since the pandemic started. And we know it's not over, and it's going to continue into next year, and we're prepared to continue to do the same. But We can't do any of that work. We're a private, not-for-profit organization. We depend on community support. Troy Turkey Trot is one of our most important fundraising sources of funds every year, and we're just grateful to be part of that. We thank all of the organizers of the event and all of the runners who have contributed over the years and who are contributing again this year. You really are making a difference for people at a time that is especially difficult for them. So it's with great gratitude that we say thank you again this year.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate it. And thank you to both of our charities for the important work that you do here in the capital region and in some cases across swaths of New York State for those in need. I guess we've saved the best for last. We have a special guest with us this morning. Launched here this year in concert with the Troy Turkey Trot. Obviously, COVID has altered really the way that people can gather together and spend time with one another, whether it's holidays, whether it's, you know, in person, getting together with friends, going out for lunch or dinner. And as we internally here at City Hall, we started to think about ways that, looking at the Troy Turkey Trot when it went virtual, how we could engage more people within our community, also outside of our community. And Deputy Mayor Monica Kuzieski, who was actually born in Troy, is it Ohio or Pennsylvania? She was born in another Troy, and now she's deputy mayor here in Troy, New York. She had the great genius idea to reach out to the other Troy communities across the country to invite them to participate in the event. So bringing Trojans together coast to coast here in the United States, which is really exciting. So this morning we're joined by Mayor Ethan Baker. Mayor Baker is joining us this morning from Troy, Michigan, which is just outside of Detroit, I was told, about 15 miles. And they're one of the 14 or 15 communities that we invited to participate in this year's virtual Troy Turkey Trot. We've received, I believe Mayor Madden spoke about it earlier in the program, we've received responses from several other communities, including Kansas and Illinois, who also, their council members, city officials, mayors intend, police chiefs, I believe, and fire chiefs intend to run in the race this year, which is really exciting, and the whole purpose of having a virtual race. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mayor Baker. Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this morning.
Well, thank you, John, and thank you, Mayor Madden, for inviting me. This is, I have to say, I'm sitting here in a virtual press conference, listening to people talk about the city of Troy and realizing, like, I have no idea what a lot of you are talking about. It's very different to have a Troy be mentioned about and really have no affiliation, but it's an alternate world. But it's very exciting. So I'm Ethan Baker. I'm the mayor of Troy, Michigan, which is it's a northern suburb of Detroit. We have our roots, of course, from Troy, New York, actually. Our people settled here in Troy, Michigan in 1827. Most of them were from Troy, New York. That's how we got our name. In fact, strangely enough, we have neighboring cities around us are Utica and Rochester. So we're very New York based here. So it's fascinating. Actually, and I have to say, Troy, New York, and the whole capital region is a big deal to me because my dad and his whole side of the family is from Albany. They grew up in Albany, so I've been to Albany. I actually drove through Troy once in New York, but that's the extent of it. But I look forward to coming back. This Troy Turkey Trot is a wonderful thing. I'm envious of your longevity of this program. We have a frightful 5K, we call it here in Troy, that we do at the end of October. That's this would have been its fifth year. Fourth or fifth year, and it's hard to have longevity in those events, but we didn't do anything virtually, so but to be part of the Troy Turkey Trot is something we're very excited to do. Our city's 90,000 people. We're very focused on fitness and recreation, and we're a very giving community. We're known as one of the most diverse cities in the state of Michigan. We're very giving hearts. We're very warm. We love to give to charity, and I know that the residents here in the city of Troy, Michigan will do their part to make this virtual run a success for New York and throughout the country. I don't have much else to say other than I really am honored to be a part of this. I'm thankful that Mayor Madden reached out to me. And I look forward to a continued partnership with Troy, New York and other Troys. I think it's a great thing to do for our own communities and for the country as a whole. So thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to running also, although I haven't been running as much as I should have because I didn't think I had to train for anything this year. But we'll see what happens. But thank you again. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Mayor Baker. That was great. I don't think anybody on the call realized that the actual direct connection there from Troy, New York to Troy, Michigan. So that's fantastic. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll look for you on the leaderboard on Thanksgiving weekend. At this time, thank you everybody so much for participating. I'll just turn it over to Mayor Madden just for some closing remarks.
Thanks, John, and thank you to everybody for participating. And Mayor Baker, if you're ever in the capital region again, please don't hesitate to give me a call. And by the way, you have 6 days, 21 hours, 47 minutes, and 17 seconds to get ready for this race. So it gives you a little bit of time to get caught up on your training. Again, I thank you all for not just being here today, but working with us to put on the Troy Turkey Trot. People can still register, TroyTurkeyTrot.com. A few thank yous. Tom, thank you very much to Pioneer Bank for being here every year for us. And it's amazing. It makes the community. And Mark and Kevin, I can't say enough about you guys. We're fortunate that in a year where there's a global pandemic, we have you in our community. I thank you for your lifetime commitment to alleviating hunger and homelessness. Your work is amazing. We are a better community because of you and your efforts. So thank you to everyone. Please join us on November 26th. You can wait until the 28th. You can run, pick out that weather slot that works for you best. And please join us. So let's see if we can top the amount we raised last year. 90% of the way there. We've got 6 days left, so let's get to it. TroyTurkeyTrot.com. Thank you very much, everyone.
Enjoy Troy. There you go. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. If there's any follow-up questions, please do reach out to myself or Ed Parham from Ruckert Advertising. Everybody has his contact information. This recording is currently archived on the City of Troy's YouTube channel. So if you need to go back and reference anything, it is posted there. And if you need digital copies of any of the videos that we played during today's press conference, please again reach out to Ed or myself, and we will be able to provide you a copy of those videos. Thank you again. Thank you, Mayor Baker, for taking the time this morning. Thank you, Mayor Madden. Thank you, Tom and Mark and George and Kevin. This was great. So be well, stay safe. Happy Thanksgiving on behalf of the City of Troy. Stay safe out there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.